There we go. Hello, everybody. Welcome into Aliit Beskar, which basically in Mandoa means clan of Beskar or iron or steel, depending on how you look at it. And it refers, of course, to the armor that Mandos wear. Our party is predominantly Mandalorian, with one dark side force user. And I'm gonna let everybody introduce themselves here in just a moment. Also, I just realized I forgot to update the overlay. Knew I was forgetting something, but we'll have the character names up there next week. But before I introduce the characters, a little bit of background on where we are in the whole Star Wars timeline. So this show and campaign is going to follow sort of its own timeline. I grew up with the expanded universe, now called Legends, canon in Star Wars. And then, of course, now we have the Disney one. And they're a little bit different. But I like a lot of things about both of them, so I'm going to try to combine different elements. So if you are a diehard Star Wars fan, like a lot of us are, things may look a little bit different than what you're used to. Events will play out a little bit differently than what you're used to. So sort of doing our own alternate universe timeline here. But if you are an old school Star Wars fan, that you'll probably recognize some names that pop up, some places, events, and things like that hopefully will give you as much joy as they give me. And if you're relatively new to Star Wars, it should still seem somewhat familiar. There'll still be some things that you're like, oh yeah, I know what this is. But in the main timeline, we're starting roughly 6 months after the events of Return of the Jedi. So the second Death Star has been destroyed. The Emperor has been, as far as we know, killed. And the state of the universe right now, or galaxy, is one of a giant power vacuum. The Emperor's gone, Darth Vader's gone. The Empire is sort of scrambling to achieve some sort of order. You have a lot of Grand Moffs that are vying for control. You have admirals who are trying to take control militarily. There's no clear line of succession. So the Empire is in absolute disarray. And the Rebellion's not quite in a position to set up the New Republic yet. So it's a time of great chaos in the galaxy, if you will. And we're going to be following a group of predominantly Mandos, as I said, who have their own agendas, their own plans and plots to deal with what's going on in the galaxy. So the story will be a little bit different. We're not part of the Rebellion. We're not part of the Empire. We're going to be following a different group who is also anti-Empire, just not part of the Rebellion or the New Republic. And we're going to be starting with all of them meeting up on Tatooine in a very familiar spaceport. Before we jump into all that, I'm going to let everybody introduce themselves, starting with our top left. So Vanessa, you could tell us a little bit about your character, their name, pronouns, what they look like, and then a little bit about yourself as well.
Sure. Hi, my name is Vanessa. I am a traditional artist. Primarily, I do watercolor and pencil sketch, and also a little bit of digital art as well. I can go back to saying that I'm the token Canadian, can't I?
That is true, you can.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. So I'm the token Canadian of the group this time around again. Awesome. But yeah, so I play a character named Anaka Ta, and she is a Togruta. And unlike the rest of the group, she is not, in fact, a Mandalorian character. She's got kind of a shifty past of her own, one which she does not share freely or openly with others. But she's probably one of my favorite character designs so far that I've done for a session. Her kind of coloring is very unique in terms of my characters before. She's got kind of like these different shades of blue in her Montrals and Leku, whites and blues in like a stripy pattern, Her skin is kind of like a light orange, and she's got some white markings on her face as well. And then her eyes are kind of like this. I would say if you look at like a jar of honey, like that kind of amber, light amber kind of honey color of a jar of honey. That's the color of her eyes. But she is a dark force user, which is going to be really, really fun. I'm super excited to see what consequences are in store for me choosing that, despite everything in the manuals telling me to pick the good guy. Absolutely not. We have to go full dark force user here. So yeah, she wears dark colors, and she does wield a lightsaber, which I'm super pumped for as well. Yeah.
Awesome. Absolutely fantastic. Next, let's hop on down to Nikki. Tell us a little bit about your character, yourself, and then what's your character's name, pronouns as well, and then what do they look like?
Obviously I don't have what I wrote down.
No worries. It can be as brief a summary as you want.
Okay, my character is Ilsa, and she is a Mando, but she wasn't raised as one, and this should be a lot of fun.
It's gonna be a blast. All right, we'll hop on over to Matt. Tell us a little bit about your character, name, pronouns, what they look like, and a little about yourself.
Hi, I'm Matt. I was on here last season GMing a group of very, very cool super teens. And this go around, I'm playing Jai Soren, who is he's going to be just a idiot kid. This poor boy. He's a Mandalorian with an interesting lineage. He's half clone commando on his dad's side, obviously. And he's going to be our sniper mechanic, and he's a precious flower that it doesn't know anything. This poor idiot.
That's fantastic. All right, and then next, let's hop on down to Hope. Tell us a little bit about your character, their name, pronouns, what they look like, and a little about yourself.
Oh, sure. Okay. Yeah, so I'm playing Muxo, who is also a Mandalorian. She came off a farm planet. But she's, just sort of, it's family business. And she's sort of average, like very nondescript. Just, it'd be really easy to lose her in a crowd of average looking people. And
Okay.
she is a bit of a daredevil to make up for it. She's a middle child, so
Okay. That explains a lot. Yeah.
it's very much going to come out in the way I play her. She was one of those like in those folk songs where you just like some woman has like 7 kids and one wanders off and no one knows for like a couple months. It's that sort of thing.
I see. All right.
Yep. Did her pronouns. I'm Hope Tracy. I work in manufacturing quality. It's fascinating, absolutely. And you can find me on Twitter at HopeTracy71.
All right. And then let's hop on over to Mr. Parr. Tell us a little bit about yourself, your character, what they look like, their name and pronouns.
Hello, I'm Parr. I am a sometime streamer, amateur author, and I am playing Zadu Baka in this campaign. He, him. Zadu Baka is a Twi'lek, born Twi'lek. No, sorry, I heard myself for a second there. He's Twi'lek, but he was raised by Wookiees. And so, whenever you see him in his Mandalorian armor, it's a shade of It's colored brown with I suppose sort of green trim, but it's I don't know if you could paint the armor really, but if I can, let's say I can. It's painted to look sort of like a Wookiee would. So if you squint from far away, it almost seems like a Wookiee warrior might be coming to rip your arms off.
That's amazing. I love that.
As for what he wears underneath, shirts and pants.
Makes sense.
He's a green Twi'lek, and his head tails are a little curled. A little bit curled. Makes it hard to put on helmets.
I can understand that. Does he have like a special helmet attachment or anything like that for the Leku, or does he just run with a standard Mando bucket?
I imagine he would have to have it modified. 'Cause otherwise, it's just not comfortable, is it?
Yeah, that would make sense. All right, cool. Fantastic. And then me, I'm Raven. I do just about everything you can think of when it comes to tabletop, aside from making dice, and that's a yet on that one. Someday. You can find out all about my stuff in any of the links that are popping up in chat. My link tree should be in there. Let's see. I think this is the command I set up for that. Yes, there we go. That's got all the links to all my stuff. Before I jump into everything, I forgot to mention, quick shout out to sponsors, Fundamental RPG, Intrepid, and Grind and Coffee Company. All absolutely fantastic. Definitely go check all those things out. Yeah, so I play everything and everybody else in the galaxy. Specifically, in this session, I'll be playing another Mando named Bevan Cal, who is the person that has brought everyone together to Tatooine. Bevan has a job for all these different people that he's either worked with in the past or is somehow related to or has some connection to. Bevan has a co-pilot who doesn't talk a whole lot, who everybody will probably meet here in a moment. So those are the two main characters I'll be playing tonight, but I'll also be controlling everything else in the universe for this. So with that, let's jump right into it. So you're all going to be arriving at Mos Eisley Spaceport on Tatooine. Individually, I would imagine. Maybe a couple of you are coming together. But you all show up via your respective rides, charters, or maybe caught a lift with a friend. But you all show up in the spaceport, and what are your impressions, I suppose, as you step off of your respective ships and start looking for this cantina that Bevan has told you to come check out and meet him at? Let's start with Par. What's your impressions of this sandy, grimy hive of scum and villainy, as Obi-Wan put it, as you step off the ship?
It's very different from what I'm used to, but it's a pleasant change. Getting to see the universe is always quite lovely. And the people, lots of diversity here. Seeing such a place that seems not suited to life, really, being so thriving is very pleasant.
Okay. How about, and I'm going to struggle with character names. I need to pull up my list here. This is what I get for forgetting to update the overlay. Hope, your character's name was, what again?
Muxo? Muxo?
Yeah. Muxo. What's their impression?
Not her favorite part of the end of a mission. Kind of has to brace herself for this. I mean, there's noise and jumble, and that's fine if you've got maybe 200 people max. But 200 people literally in sight, that she then has to find her way to a place is making her a little cranky.
That's fair.
So she'll, say goodbye to her companion and just sort of start pushing through.
All right. How about Matt, your character, Jai, right?
Yeah.
What's his impression?
Jai hates this place. He walks out of a docking bay, steps right in a pile of some animals droppings that he doesn't know or understand. It's just standing there. Oh yeah. Oh, it's bad. It doesn't go with the armor color. Like, it's just not a good look, and he's not thrilled. And he's just like standing here in the middle of this heat, just shoveless shibs, just, like, kicks in a general direction and annoys some alien. He's not having a great day.
Okay. All right. And then what about was it Ilsa? Is that right?
Yes.
What is her impression as she steps off the ship into this this dusty sand or spaceport?
It's a little open for her right now, so she's going to try to find something to hide behind or somewhere to be. Like, she's probably not conspicuous, but she feels that way. So she's gonna like duck behind a crate or something and just watch people for a minute to figure out what's going on.
Okay. And then last but not least, Anaka. What's your impression? What's your reaction as you head out into this spaceport?
Well, Raven, Mos Eisley is very sandy, and sand is very coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere. So her mind now, as I had to do it to him.
Someone had to.
Yeah.
And as dear to my heart as Anakin is, I just had to. Yes, Jay. God damn it, indeed. But no, in all seriousness, Anaka is, when she kind of makes her way through the crowd, she's focused seemingly on nobody else. Like, she's very contained to herself, when in reality she's kind of trying to take in as much as possible. She's wearing a cloak, her face is hidden, so she's very much of the mind, like, get to where we're going. That's kind of the goal right now. So she's just going.
Okay. All right. Well, then, in the interest of efficiency of story and time, I'm going to say that you all end up at the entrance to this cantina at roughly the same time. Some of you may recognize each other, some of you may not. But you're all there for the same reason, and that is to meet up with Bevan to find out what this new job of his is. You received a message from him via the HoloNet that was a bit cryptic and a bit vague, but it just said that it was very important for everybody but Anaka. It mentioned being crucial to the survival of Mandalore, and to Anaka, the message, instead of saying that, was if you feel like giving the Empire a really big bloody nose, then this is the job for you. And as you arrive in the cantina, it's pretty busy, it's pretty full. There are lots of very diverse looking people all over the place, drinking beverages, playing sabak, some of them very clearly cheating. There's the occasional sort of barroom brawl that'll break out in one corner of the cantina, but it's relatively contained. There's no live band, but there is music playing on the overhead speakers. And there's a bar, sort of circular, set up in the middle of the room, where there is a bartender currently wiping down a glass. you don't really see Bevan anywhere, just at first glance. Does anybody approach the bartender or someone else in the bar to ask about where Bevan is?
I'm going to sit at the bar and listen for someone else to ask where Bevan is.
Okay. As you sit down at the bar, there is an open spot. There is an alien that you don't quite recognize their species right off the bat, but they're if you had to put a label on it, they look like some sort of short-haired Wookiee. So a little bit more normal humanoid face, but they are covered in a short fur, and they seem to be very intoxicated. As soon as you sit down, they sort of just slump over onto you with their head against your helmet, and they're just like, "Hi. You make a good headrest," and then they just sort of mumble and pass out, leaning up against you. Do you do anything, or just let them stay there?
He doesn't have like a wallet or anything clearly showing, right?
Give me a perception roll. Let's see if you notice that. If you don't have that set up just yet, you can also just do a d20 plus your wisdom modifier. It's not going to be too difficult to roll for that.
Oh.
Well, yeah. He's got like an ID card and a few credits, sort of like half sticking out of a pocket. Some credit chips that you could probably swipe, given his intoxicated state.
But what does the ID card say?
If you were to pull it out and activate it and looked at it, it would say some name that I didn't come up with because I didn't think you were going to look at his ID. And it basically is your classic freighter pilot type of ID. It's got a pilot's license on it. It says the name of his ship, which we'll call the let's say the beat hauler is what it's called.
Okay, I'm actually going to try to take the ID card.
Okay. You're able to swipe that. He's completely smashed, so he doesn't notice. You feel a few eyes on you, as there are a lot of other people in the room that do notice this, but nobody goes to stop you, nor do they say anything about it. So yeah, you have this guy's ID card now. While that's going on, is anybody else doing anything to locate Bevan?
Yeah, I'll go up to the bartender.
Okay. He sets down the glass.
Is Bevan the sort of person that you would actually ask for my name?
He didn't specify instructions to ask for him by name, but he also didn't say not to. So it's up to you if you want to use the name, or you could do a description. Mandos are not super common in the galaxy, so if you give a description,
yeah, but there's about to be 5 in the same room.
Yeah, which is another thing of note. Like people definitely are noticing you the more you move around, because there's a bunch of Mandos in one place, which is unnerving to a lot of people.
Okay, so what I will say when I go up to the bar, I'll lean over, seen any of my friends around?
The bartender is this big, it looks like he's mostly human, and this is a big portly fellow with like a t-shirt type top that's not quite big enough, so there's like a little bit of belly showing underneath. So he just sort of scratches that spot on his stomach. He's like, back room. And he points to one of the side rooms in the cantina. Looks like it probably has a little bit more privacy in there. There is a door that is currently closed with a keypad next to it.
I'll do the whatever this fiction has equivalent of finger guns and on it.
Just finger guns. Yeah.
Great. I want to just
Hell yeah.
fandoms are a thing. Yeah, finger guns. Head on into that door.
He awkwardly tries to mimic that motion, but it's clear that like he's never done finger guns before, so he's just like, and goes back to waiting on customers.
There's definitely a swagger. Like as average as Muso is, she's also very confident.
Okay. Does everybody follow Muxo to the door?
Oh, as soon as Jai has identified Muxo, he is like forming up right next to her, just like intending to like wedge through the crowd.
Nice.
Ilsa is too, especially since people are like looking at her.
I am blatantly standing separately and people watching.
Okay.
So all of a
Alright.
sudden I've got somebody like right on my ass.
Yeah.
And to the side.
Patrons are definitely getting out of your way. Everybody, except for the drunk guy that was leaning over on Ilsa, is giving you a wide berth. Anaka, what are you doing?
So Anaka is purposely staying to the outskirts of the crowds, like where people are sitting, kind of forging her own path, kind of on the outside of the grouping. So she has her eyes on the main group at all times, but distinctly like, oh, I'm not with those guys. She looks like she's just kind of minding her own business.
Okay. I feel giving the sort of aura that Anaka probably exudes, people are probably giving you a wide berth as well, though they're not quite sure why.
And that's the way she likes it.
Perfect. Okay. Well, you're all able to see as Muxa is able to open the door, and inside you see another Mando sitting at a table. This room's relatively small, but all of you will be able to fit in comfortably. There's a table big enough to sit all of you. The Mando looks a lot like this. I'll put a picture there in Discord. Green armor, predominantly a green and yellow helmet, green chest plates with a yellow diamond in the middle. Diamond shape, not the gem. As well as shoulder pieces, a cod piece, and knee pads that are, or knee plates rather, that are also the green with a yellow stripe. There are a couple of noticeable different pieces of armor on his set, which is the collar plate and the ab plate, which look more like just raw Beskar with a maroon sort of chevron pattern on it. Next to him, just barely visible over the table, is another Mando? You probably ask yourself, because they look a little short to be a Mandalorian. They're about 2.5, maybe 3 feet tall, if they were standing up, with very small hands, but they are in full Mando gear, and it's the heavy armor. So they've got the helmet, shoulder plates, the full torso armor, the codpiece, thigh plates, shin plates, boot coverings, all of it. They are armored from head to toe, and they are holding a drink with sort of a sci-fi looking straw, which goes underneath the bucket. So they're drinking through that without taking their helmet off. But as you
mean
all,
a curly straw?
like a curly straw that also like lights up and does like laser shows when you drink through it or something. I don't know, something super sci-fi looking.
I want one of those.
Right?
I feel like that's something you'd get in the kids' meal when you go to the movie theater.
Yeah.
Oh, Muso's
The little
making
cup.
mental notes. This is her reward for showing up. She's gonna get one of those.
I love that everybody's talking about the straw.
Yeah, never mind the person who's drinking from it. We like the straw.
Yeah. But yeah, this character definitely has a like kids meal straw kind of look to it. To the straw as he's drinking out of it. And once you're all in the room and the door is shut, I'm assuming everyone eventually does get into the room when you shut the door, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm a little late.
Okay. But Bevan definitely waits until you're all in the room and the door is shut, and then he takes his helmet off. And for any of your characters that are old enough to remember the Clone Wars or who have studied them, his face looks very, very familiar. Bevan is a unaltered clone, much like Boba Fett was, who was birthed or cloned, or however you want to describe the fact that he exists.
Decanted.
Decanted. There you go. At the end of the Clone Wars. Yeah, he's I can't remember if it's 50 or 60 would be the correct age, but in that range. And he looks at all of you and just kind of goes, "About time you all showed up."
Jai's gonna take his helmet off and reveal a face that bears a pretty passing similarity to Bevan's. Just go, Bavodo. This planet is awful.
I've seen worse. If you can believe that. It just sort of gives you a nod of recognition, realizing, you have very
Similar
familiar
face.
features. Yeah. Looks at the rest of you.
So we'll all take our helmets off in turn, I suppose.
Okay. And he looks over at his companion there, the little one, and says, "Well, as you all know, I'm Bevan. This here's my co-pilot. Goes by the name Utini." And the little guy just sort of nods at all of you and doesn't really say anything. He's like, "Don't make any Jawa jokes, he's heard them all." Anyways, I brought you all here because, well, with the Emperor dead, the Death Star destroyed, Empire in disarray, we got a really good opportunity here to get them off of Mandalore. Before we can do that, we gotta weaken their forces. Now, the rebellion did their thing. Whatever. I don't really agree with their methods. They're not direct enough. They're not willing to go far enough to get the job done. So we're going to have to do what we got to do to get the Empire out of here. So I'm going to have several jobs for you, if you're all up for it. What do you think?
Pay? What's the pay structure like on this trip?
Well, there's not a whole lot of money that I've got, but we're going to be hitting the Empire, so whatever you can loot, steal, get your hands on, or commandeer, for one. For two, when we're able to retake Mandalore, you'll all get first pick of whatever land you want.
Sold me.
I
like loot. Land doesn't mean much to me, though.
have a good feeling about this.
All right, well, what about you, Darjetti? And he looks over at Anaka.
So at this point, kind of sticking to the walls of the room again, Anaka kind of pulls back the hood of her cloak and lets it settle back around her shoulders. And she looks at Bevan and kind of tilts her head to the side a little bit. And she's like, "Well, I wouldn't be here if I wasn't partial to the idea, now would I?"
See, I knew you'd jump at the chance to give the Empire a bloody nose.
Well, I suppose the end goal is probably a little more than a bloody nose, but let's leave it there,
absolutely.
I suppose.
Absolutely, but for this one, I think you'll enjoy this first mission that I have for you.
What is the first mission?
Like, all right, well, Utini, pull out the thing. And this little Mando pulls out a little holographic projector, sort of like a little puck, sets it on the table, and in a very probably unexpected voice, it says, "Sure thing, Bevan. Here's the mission. I'll let you take it from here." And Bevan turns it on, and a little screen shows up with tactical information. Looks like a galaxy map. And Bevan explains, all right, so what we've got here, as you know, the Empire is tearing itself apart a little bit, and we're just going to give it a little bit of encouragement. So what I need you to do, this is Admiral Dalla's Star Destroyer and fleet. What I need you to do, you're going to be taking a stolen shuttle, docking onto one of these things, and we need to relieve them of a fleet of prototype TIE fighters. Now, how you relieve them of those is entirely up to you. If you want to steal them, if you want to blow them up, however you can get them gone, that is your decision. But here's the catch.
Thank you!
Hey, thanks for that resubscription. The catch is you have to make it look like one of the other factions did it. So I've got some stolen code cylinders here from one of the other admirals, one of their fleets. You can use those however you need to, leave them wherever you need to, but at the end of the day, Dalla's got to believe that it was one of her competitors that did this and not us. If you get caught, if you get captured, we don't know each other. So, bit of a risk, but there's plenty of things to steal. You can probably sell those TIE fighters to the Rebellion if you want to for a profit. Keep one, whatever you want to do. I don't really care as long as they're out of her hands. And she believes one of her opponents took them or destroyed them, whatever. Y'all in?
Yeah, I mean, I've never flown a TIE fighter. That sounds like a great time. I'm in just for that.
Yeah, they're pretty fun to fly, especially these. They've actually got deflector shields, so, you know, you're not just flying a tin cannon through space.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yep. Well, Utini here will forward you the logistics, the maps, the layouts, and everything. The shuttle that you'll need is in docking bay 22. Good luck. With that, he puts his helmet back on and sort of leans back and points you to the door.
I'm on my way to get one of those straws. I put my helmet back on. Back to the bartender. Whatever you made for that short one, I want that.
Sorry, what was that?
Whatever you made for that short one, that's what I want.
Oh, the bartender just sort of grunts and pours something out of a tap and puts one of those straws in the cup and hands it to you.
That's the important part.
Yeah. He says it'll be like 2 credits.
I'll pay it.
Okay. So yeah, with that, you've got your first mission. The shuttle that you'll need is in docking bay 22. And you've got not a super detailed layout of where to go on the ship, but enough to know generally like which hangar it's going to be and which Star Destroyer it's going to be on. So given that, do you all go straight to the shuttle? Do you have anything you want to do to prepare for this? And I'm sure you're probably going to want to have a group conversation about it.
Jai is ready to go. He's a bit nervous about the whole piloting thing, but you know, someone's probably good at that.
I will be the pilot.
All right.
Oh.
Any prep that you want to do? Do you want to do any shopping? Anywhere you want to go on Tatooine before you head out?
I'd like to meditate, but I can do that on the ship.
Okay. I just have a sneaky suspicion. Is there any trouble that Anaka wants to get into before you head out?
Why do you immediately think that I'm going to get into trouble? No, absolutely not. I mean,
don't know.
it's a very accurate guess. Yes. Okay. But not here. Not
All
at the
right.
moment.
Muso wants to go. I mean, if we're gonna like take like an hour or so before we head out, Muso's gonna go and find someone to give her whatever the tackiest, most like basic tattoo that's going around is. Like, you know, if it was 2001, she'd get a tribal tattoo.
Gotcha.
She's just collecting
Yeah.
them.
There's a place that'll give you a tattoo, and it's basically like a stormtrooper helmet, but like a pirate version of the stormtrooper helmet. So it's like a skull and bones, but with like a broken helmet, like a busted out eyepiece, and you can see like a skull underneath of it.
Great. Because she's never actually been here, so
Okay.
souvenir.
Yeah, that's like the touristy tattoo that they're giving out right now.
Yeah, exactly. Anyone want to go with me?
I'll go, but I'm not getting any ink. I'll just watch and laugh.
No, that's fine. You can hold my drink.
Oh, that drink is going to be gone.
Well, as long as I get the straw. That's the important part.
Yep, that's fine. The drink will be gone.
Fantastic. Yeah, it doesn't take them too long. It's it's Star Wars, it's sci-fi, so they've got fancy tattoo things that work really fast.
It's probably like the photo cake thing.
Yeah, it takes like maybe 15 minutes to get it done instead
Mhm.
of like an hour.
Yep.
It looks pretty good. I mean, it looks like the same tattoo that half the people in the Outer Rim have, but it looks nice. It's well done. And yeah, you're good to go.
Excellent.
If nobody else has anything they want to do on Tatooine, then I will move us over to the shuttle. You get to docking bay 22, and you can see that this is an older Imperial shuttle. So the one with the three sort of wings that form what shape would you call that? The two that come down and then the one fin on top. And then the two bottom ones will fold up when it lands. So there's one of those. It looks a bit beaten up. It's got some blaster scoring on the side. The paint's chipped and scratched. It looks like it's been through some battles. But at least with a cursory inspection from the outside, it looks space-worthy. You've been given the code to start it up and get inside.
Mhm.
So, like I said, unless there's anything else you want to do, you are able to get in and get that started. Muxo's going to be the pilot, right?
Yes. To clarify, that was an in-character insistence. If there's a player insistence that they would like to pilot, I'm fine with it.
Oh no, it's okay. I'm
Okay.
I'm going to watch. My character's going to watch this happen.
Great.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, in that case, let me get a pilot check from you.
Great.
To make sure that you can take off with this shuttle.
And so we're rolling physical dice right now?
Entirely up to you. If you want to use Roll20, that is totally fine. If
Okay.
you want to use physical dice, you can.
I mean, I'm comfortable with either. But since I'm already looking at... Wait a minute. I'm sorry. Something came undone.
No worries.
I think I made some changes that didn't get saved.
Oh, I hate it when that happens.
Yep.
16. All right. So you go through your words are hard. Getting tongue-tied. Your pre-flight.
Yep.
And you can see that the engines seem to work just fine. The hyperdrive is a bit older and a little slow, but it is fully functional. You've got plenty of fuel. You do notice the rear left side deflector shield. When you go to activate it and test everything, it sort of flickers for a minute. Like it sort of fizzles out shortly after you turn it on, but then it comes right back. But you might.
Is that something I can fix real quick?
You can absolutely try. Would you like to head to the engine room to try to fix that, or would you want to delegate that to anyone?
I'm going to point it out to the rest of the crew. I don't mind digging my hand in there, but if there's somebody who has an answer real quick.
Oh, I got it.
Okay. Well, this is the problem.
Jai will dive into whatever panel is causing this issue and will proceed to try to fix everything.
All right. As you're looking in the engine room, as you pull panels out of the way to try to find the problem, you notice what looks like it's like a space rat. So a bit like a ferret, but looks more like a rat, but like the size and rough shape of a ferret, just nomming on some of the wires in there.
Oh, okay. See, Jai knows how to deal with this too. Just goes, fire in the hole, literally, and flamethrowers that thing.
Oh no! All right, give me an attack roll. 13. Okay. Just roll for this thing. Oh my god. I got a nat 20.
Oh, good.
So this thing's able to amazingly dodge your flamethrower by just skittering out of the way and just crawls deeper into the panel. Out of the way. You've melted some of the rubber on some of the wires. Not enough to like cause them to stop working, but you probably make a mental note of like, oh yeah, I should probably like add some shielding to those wires later.
I'm just gonna make my job harder, really. It's fine.
But you can access the wires to repair them now.
Love it.
The ones that were being chewed on.
If it rears its head ever again, I'll show it.
Jai will remember this.
So if he is shouting, then I would like come running.
Okay.
So what am I looking at? Like
Oh no, I got this. There was just a vermin problem.
Where did the vermin go?
Deeper, but it's not chewing on things.
Well, how do you know?
I just shove my whole hand into the compartment and just like feel around and be like, well, I'm not getting shocked.
So we have vermin in our
I assume
bits.
Teeny got this from a junkyard, so probably.
I love the absolute confidence. Just where did it go? Deeper.
It's not chewing on things. We're good.
I love Jai already.
Well, it's gonna
He's an
chew on
idiot. This
things.
boy is a dummy.
It will chew on things at critical times.
He has an 8 in his wisdom stat. He doesn't know that.
No, we're not going anywhere until this. No.
About that moment, you hear some skittering sounds in the panels, like the ceiling panels, heading over to where the passenger area is.
There it goes. See, we're
Is there
good.
only one though? Yeah. So, I'll find the nearest like panel along the hallway to like try to kind of get closer to it.
Okay. Yeah, you're able to follow the sound pretty easily. You don't even need to roll for that. And it has, following the sounds, it seems to have settled down on a part of the ceiling, beyond the panel, right above wherever Anaka is sitting, or standing, or whatever Anaka's doing.
Anaka, you're about to have a pet.
Sorry, I'm eating bagel bites.
In character, Muso has said this to you after
Okay.
kind of running into the room, like.
Right. So
Invested.
Anaka hears this kind of skittering coming around her head, right?
Yeah, you can absolutely hear it, and probably vaguely sense it if you're trying.
Can I use the force to crush it?
We're a
Sure,
great team.
You could certainly
Raven.
try.
You were prepared for this. Why did you put your hand on your feet? You knew this is what you wanted. And I know it's what you wanted because you made it stop right above me.
No, I know. It's a cute little rat ferret, and it's just really funny that you're like, I'm just gonna crush it. Yeah, go for it. Roll use the force.
Okay. I'm going to use the automated roller right now because I don't have any dice. Did it not work? It's not working for me. Let me grab some dice. Hold on.
Okay.
We're gonna use the Mira dice.
Double check and make sure it does pop up with a window that asks if you want to add a modifier to it. So you'll have to click OK.
I'm not seeing any extra windows.
Okay, weird.
No, I'm not seeing any extra windows. That's okay. I'll just roll for it.
Okay.
That is a 24.
Oh yeah, no problem at all. You're able to, you sense exactly where it is. You're able to use the force to, what exactly are you wanting to do? Just like implode it, basically, or
squeeze the life from it.
okay.
We don't want the mess on the inside of the woodwork, you know.
Okay.
So exploding it would not be favorable. So just crush the life from it.
Okay. Without going into too much detail, there is a sad whimper sound that comes from the upper panel, and then silence. As you succeed.
Anaka looks at Mukso and is just like, not anymore.
Sorry, excellent. Can you tell if there are any more?
Yeah, is she able to kind of reach out with the force and sense to see if there's anything else there?
You can absolutely try to do so. Again, it's going to be a use the force roll.
Alrighty. That is a 28.
28. Yeah, you sense 3 more of them in various points around the ship, in the inner workings. All 3 of them are in non-critical areas, unlike the one that was in the engine room.
Are they like easily accessible, or are they deep enough in there that it would take some finagling to get to?
I mean, anywhere that they are, it's going to be a little bit difficult to get to, but definitely doable. There's a couple in basically like the trash chute equivalent. So whatever section that deals with the garbage that you throw out and then eventually flush out into space. They're like in that section. And then there's one wherever the heating element is in the cargo area. It's sort of just like nestled against that.
I don't want to kill them.
It's us or them.
Yeah, you don't want you're not going to have to need to provide me with any consequences because I am providing my own consequences.
I mean, there's other options besides just, killing them if you're using the force.
I feel like that was probably the most viable well, I'm going to tell myself that it was the most viable option to do with the one that was in the ceiling. But for these other ones, after sensing where they are in the ship, Anaka turns back to Mukso and says, well, there are 2 in the trash area and 1 close to a heater. So I'm sure if you, I don't know, emptied the trash cans, perhaps, then you might just rid yourself of at least 2 of them.
Oh, yeah. I'll go check it out. But I'd rather we didn't start up the engine until these are all gone. So I'll go do that.
Okay. Yeah, you're able to flush out the trash. It just sort of dumps out onto the spaceport, the hangar floor.
Okay, I will go make sure that they don't just scurry back up into the ship.
No. If you look out a window, you can see like two of them just scurrying off into the city. You probably also notice like a really angry-looking Rhodian behind a control panel on the opposite side of the bay, just yelling at you in Rhodian about how somebody's gonna have to clean that up now.
Waverly, like, hi.
He makes some rude gesture back at you.
Finger guns.
I imagine with the full like Mando kit on, that's probably incredibly intimidating.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think with the finger guns, he probably takes it the wrong way and
No, there's a whole
runs
body
away.
curve that goes with it. All the way over, it's like a half moon.
Amazing.
I already have a
At any
character
rate-
meme. This is great.
Yes, I love it. At any rate, there's only one left, and according to Anaka, it is sleeping next to the heating element. What do you do about that one, if anything?
It's gonna be dead pretty soon then, and making a smell.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's already one in the ceiling cabinet that's dead and still there, so.
Yeah, we gotta get those out of here. That's
Yes,
so
but
gross.
is that not easier to clean up than an exploded thing?
Oh, absolutely.
I have done you a favor, everyone here, by crushing this thing to death rather than explode it. So you're welcome.
Who is complaining?
Justifications.
All right, so let's go get the one that's still alive near the heating element.
Okay. That is an important element. So there's an access panel like right there at it. You're able
Fantastic.
to open that, and it's a cute, adorable little ferret rat just curled up, sleeping like an angel.
Last chance to have a pet, Anaka.
Oh, Anaka's not with you anymore. She has no interest in this.
Elsie could be there, just like looking at you judgmentally.
For
Silently.
kill. And then I'll say to Ilsa, last chance. I'm just telling you I grew up on a farm, so
Okay, I'll reach out for it, but I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah, it wakes up but oddly seems to not be scared of you. It just sort of crawls up to your hand and starts looking for food, as if you have like food in your hand and is trying to find it.
all right, I'll restore the panel, and over my shoulder I'll say, don't let it get back behind a panel. And I'll go try to get the other dead one out of the ceiling.
I'm just going to hold on to my new pet and just still be judgmental and protective over my pet that doesn't have a name yet.
Oh, good.
It not finding any food, it seems disappointed, but it just sort of curls up in your hand and goes back to sleep. And the one in the ceiling, it probably takes you a good 10 minutes to fish it out. Like, you've got to go find a broom handle or something, try to like slide it over to an access panel because it's pretty tight quarters up there.
Space
Eventually you
wrenches.
get rid of it.
There's all kinds
Yeah.
of things going on.
Just grab a long-handled hydro spanner and just.
And Jai has fixed the other thing.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, roll mechanics for that.
Oh, boy. Be a better roll. I feel like that's a better roll.
This is a 17. Yeah, you're able to get it fixed up. It didn't chew things up too badly. You just kind of have to like splice the wires back together, put a little electrical tape on it, and you're good to go. Yeah, with that, when you go back to do your pre-flight check, everything checks out this time. The shield works fine. and you're able to take off.
I'm really more worried about the smell than anything else. I mean, they are going to die in there.
It's true. It's true. But yeah, you're able to take off from Tatooine. And as you do so, let me get a perception check from everyone who is paying attention. So if you're on the bridge, if you're on the bridge or at a console, you can make this check. If you are ignoring all of that, then don't worry about it.
I am elbows deep in a gun.
I'm meditating.
All right.
Apparently,
So
I'm
gotta
very
take
busy piloting.
Get a 12, a 22. Nice. That will notice some things. What about a knockout?
Oh yeah, no, she doesn't notice literally jack shit. I got a 7, so she's in her own little world.
Okay. Then Ilsa's the only one that
Probably
notices
thinking
it.
about getting revenge on the Empire or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Ilsa, you're probably the only one that notices then. As you're leaving orbit, almost a little bit too far on the other side of the planet to pick up. You're just kind of getting the tail end of it. There is a Star Destroyer in orbit around Tatooine. So there has been a Star Destroyer here that you're able to notice, but shortly after that, it goes around to the other side of the planet and it drops off of sensors.
All right, I'm holding my rat ferret, kind of like Claw on Inspector Gadget. You know how he had his cat?
I love it.
And I'm just going to say, there was a Star Destroyer, and it's gone to the other side of the planet. What will you all do? Am I?
It's amazing.
You know, it's like those other rat ferrets we flushed out the trash. I mean, not my problem now.
Yeah, is it following us?
No, doesn't seem to be following you. Just was there.
Yeah.
Don't look for trouble. Don't get trouble.
Out of character. Ooh, very cool detail. In character.
Yeah, that's perfectly expected for the characters. All right. Well, then once you're clear of orbit, you're able to do the nav calculations and make the jump to light speed to head towards your destination. I mentioned this is a slower hyperspeed or hyperdrive. That's the word I was looking for. So it's going to take you about a day, a standard day, to get to where this fleet is. So you've got about 24 hours to eat, sleep, and come up with a plan for how you are going to accomplish this mission. I think with that, that's probably a good spot to take a 10-minute break and let you all think about what plan you might want to have. Then we'll come back after about 10 minutes and we can discuss it and fast forward to where you get to the destination. So everybody in the audience, thank you so much for joining us. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in about 10 minutes. Be right back. And we are back. So, as I mentioned, as we were heading off to the break, I do want to have everybody roll perception, except for Anaka, who will run. Blah, blah, blah. Words are really hard today. Except for Anaka, who will roll use the Force.
Oh, nice. I got a 22.
12, 22, 22.
20.
7, 8, and a 20. All right, so Ilsa, Jai, and Anaka. All of you got the feeling with talking to Bevan, and like you couldn't say for sure on this, but you get the impression that like the reason he's not coming with you or like giving you a detailed plan, you get the sense that you're being tested on this mission. You just have the sneaking suspicion that like this is a test to see how well you can do when left to your own devices. So just another little tidbit in there for some of you. Now, given that you have a data plan, how do you want to do this?
Okay, so we're gonna steal some, right?
Mhm.
Do we need to get rid of the others? And the shuttle? What do we do with the shuttle?
I don't think the shuttle matters. It's what's in it.
Okay, so...
So we steal one and wreck the rest with it.
Oh, I was gonna say, we make the shuttle a bomb, and we all get other TIE fighters.
This shuttle that we're in?
Yeah.
Everyone want to fly a TIE fighter, though?
I think we should ask how many people can fly a TIE fighter?
This is an issue.
Stormtroopers do it. How hard can it be?
Oh. You know what? I'm sure it'll be fine.
Narrator voice, it will not be fine.
Maybe,
I was thinking the same thing.
maybe it's not the best plan.
I'm just picturing those of you without pilot skill hopping in, and then the narrator going like, "It was at this moment he knew."
Look, I'm not trained in it, but I got a good dex, so I can probably push enough buttons to make stuff happen. Jai doesn't know this.
Oh, I bet. Oh, schematics are probably not available. What do I know about TIE fighters? From rumor.
Stormtroopers fly them and they blow up quick.
You would know that. I mean, maybe not Jai, but most of the rest of you would know that it's highly trained stormtroopers that fly these things.
Would Ilsa know anything else about them?
Yeah, I mean, you'd know that it stands for Twin Ion Engine Fighter, so you'd know that it holds two ion engines, that it's highly maneuverable and very fast at sublight, but that it doesn't. Normal TIE fighters don't have a hyperdrive or deflector shields. The details that you got from Bevan for this mission shows you that these do have limited deflector shields, and they should have a short range hyperdrive. So you're not going to be able to get quite as far as you could on the shuttle, but you should be able to get to a inhabited system and refuel and things like that with them. Like, there's not a big risk of you getting marooned in space in these things.
Right, but my question is more about like, is there any like special? You know how brands are, so they'll like put buttons in the wrong place because for identity.
They
Has she heard anything with pilot talk?
No, they use pretty standard piloting setups.
Okay.
The controls are intuitive. The main thing is just like if you're not experienced pilot, it's sort of like if me, having never drove a race car, were to get behind the wheel of a Formula One car. I know how to drive a car. I don't know how to drive a race car. So it could cause problems if you roll low.
Especially not, with something that we're trying to steal. Maybe
Mhm.
everyone should be really skilled.
There's some added stress there because there's probably going to be other TIE fighters following you, getting shot at, things like that.
So we're gonna,
Do we have a code word? We have a code word. Like a
What?
identifier. If we're gonna be chased, we might have to pretend to be them. We should have code word.
Yes.
well, y'all are saying this is going to be hard. So who thinks they can actually fly one of those things? Because I'll be honest, I can push buttons a whole lot, and I can probably make it blow up. But y'all are making it sound like I probably can't fly it.
Well, you have to take a class to fly it properly.
Oh, I can't fly it.
You can't fly it yourself, but let's say you just happen to, I don't know, have a stormtrooper friend that's willing to fly it for you under a little bit of pressure. I think
Hostages.
that's I said no such thing.
I've taken a class in it.
What?
In flying really fast ships.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Not in taking Are there classes for taking hostages?
It's more of a learn on the job thing.
I didn't get quite that far.
That's good that's reassuring for a person I just met today.
Right.
So
Well-
okay. So you two can fly these.
Yep.
Look over at Zadu and Anaka. Can y'all fly anything? Shuttle, tie, hang glider?
Yes, Jai. How long have we known each other?
I don't. Have you flown?
Yes.
Oh.
I'm a trained
Cool.
pilot.
Oh, so we can get out of here on the shuttle then.
Yes, you should get out of there on the shuttle. I'm not down with you blowing it up.
There was never a point that we couldn't get out of here on the shuttle.
Look, I just tried to like fry a rat thing, and now it's over there with Ilsa, and I don't, Ilsa, what are we doing here? What am I blowing up?
Not my pet.
You like the idea of blowing things up.
Oh, we have to get rid of them, right?
I think
That
my
was
internet
the-
just about died. I think we're not actually streaming at the moment.
Yeah, and this is good stuff.
Yeah.
Ruh-roh.
You are
It'll
correct.
stabilize again. The internet service provider said everything's working, but we'll keep an eye on it. It's like, oh really? Because